What's up, good people of YouTube? It is me, Chavez, back with another NFL player prop video for you for week 11. That's right, we're already in week 11. It's crazy. The season has just flown by. As always, I hope this video finds you doing well and in good spirits. Bit of a different approach with today's video, this week's video. This video will be uploaded to podcast format as well. So looking to just take advantage of all the things that YouTube is offering right now. So gonna try my hand at some podcast content as well as YouTube video content. So in today's video / podcast, we will recap our 3 plays given out for week 10, and then we'll dive right on into 2 new plays that I like going into week 11. The board right now is not the greatest, but I was able to find 2 plays I really like. We'll share why I like these using the tools and resources over on props.cash. So if all that sounds good to you, stick around, drop a like, sub up, and click the notification icon. That way you're notified of all upcoming content and videos from me and this channel. And without further delay, let us get into our 3 plays from week 10. All right, first 2 plays. I guess we can talk about these 2 plays as a combo. We took the over receiving yards for both Antonio Gibson and Jahan Dotson. Antonio Gibson goes well over this, had himself a really good game. Didn't really see that type of production coming from him, but I just felt 16.5 receiving yards was a bit too low. As did I feel the same way for Jahan Dotson, over 44.5 receiving yards. Unfortunately, Jahan was nowhere to be found. And for those of you listening to this in podcast form, I find it very funny. The thumbnail that was used last week for our video was Jahan Dotson. One image of him putting his finger up to his helmet, like shushing the crowd. So funny how fitting that is, because he was very shushed last week, very quiet last week. I believe he got 2 targets the entire game. I saw one of them in the 4th quarter. I don't know when the other one occurred, but he didn't catch any of them, and it was just a really bad day for him. So 1-1 with our combo for the Commanders. Last play, or 3rd play, we talked about in last week's video, Tyler Conklin over 25.5 receiving yards. I also played the over on his receptions at 2.5. So he did get 3 receptions. He did go over 25.5 receiving yards. Zach Wilson had himself a better day than I thought he would, but even if he had a terrible day, I just felt Tyler Conklin such a key part of that offense. At least he is now. He and Garrett Wilson kind of have this concentrated target share going on. So I feel that if Zach Wilson isn't looking at one, he'll look at the other, and he did enough to where Conklin went over that 25.5 receiving yard line. So with all that being said, we finished the week 2-1 with our plays. Jahan Dotson never even got out the gates, so it's hard for me to say that we were almost there or we could have had a 3-0 day. It's hard to get over a receiving yard prop when you don't get any targets, but we'll take 2-1 for sure. We'll take that momentum, we'll use it, we'll ride it on into week 11. So let's just get to it without any further delay. Let us get into our plays for week 11 in the NFL. So if you're new to the channel, if you're new to the podcast, it's going to take me a little bit of time saying that, adding that into the videos, remembering that this is now in podcast format as well. What we're going to do here is very similar to what we do with our NBA picks. Is I'm going to share with you the plays that I like, and then we're going to transition over to props.cash. That is what I use for all my researching purposes, and then we'll dig into these 2 plays. I'll share with you why I like them. So without further delay, let us get into our first play for week 11, and it is going to be a receiving yards prop for Kareem Hunt. Now, this line is set to 6.5 receiving yards over on Prizepicks, 6.5. That is incredibly low for a running back like Kareem Hunt. Now, one thing to keep in mind, Deshaun Watson is out for the season, so This changes the offensive scheme a lot. So just makes me like the over on this 6.5 receiving yards for Kareem Hunt. Our second play, going over to the Bay Area, Brock Purdy. We're going to attack his passing yards, sitting at 247.5. I like the over on this one as the 49ers take on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So those are going to be our two plays for week 11. We're now going to head on over to props.cash and start breaking these down. All right, so over on props.cash, for those listening to this in podcast format, props.cash is an amazing resource that I use. It is just kind of your one-stop shop for all player props and game logs and situational statistics, home, away, when this player's in and out, and all sorts of things. But what we're looking at over on props.cash is a 10-game graph. And a lot of books have Brock Purdy's passing yards set to 255.5. We're getting it at 247.5 over on Prizepicks. So definitely makes me like the over on this one. We can take a look at what he's done this season, and he's gone over this particular line of 247 yards. Actually, what I'm going to do is reduce the line over on props.cash so that it reflects what we're seeing on Prizepicks, so that we're getting an accurate 10 games for Brock Purdy here. So once I did that, what we're looking at here is a quarterback that's gone over this 247.5 line in 6 out of the last 9 games so far this season. And in those games, he's averaging well over 250 yards. I mean, in some of these games, he's upwards of 300. In 2 of them, he's thrown over 300 yards. So he's got that going for him. He's got all his weapons back. He's got Debo, he's got Ayuk, he's got Kittle, he's got a healthy McCaffrey. So a lot of good things going on with the 49ers. On top of all that, they get to take on a Tampa Bay defense that is allowing the most passing yards in the NFL, 266.9 yards per game. They're also averaging bottom of the league in terms of passing attempts, which is the fourth highest passing attempts per game. And then they're also allowing the 22nd most passing touchdowns per game with 1.44. So there are a lot of good things going on for Brock Purdy. This game is being played in San Fran, so home game for a quarterback who has all his weapons, and versus a defense that is hemorrhaging passing yards. So give me the over 247.5 passing yards for Brock Purdy. That's going to be one of our 2 plays for week 11. All right, so transitioning over to Kareem Hunt now, we're taking a look at his receiving yards game log over on props.cash. And so what it's showing us is the last 10 games. We can take a look at the just 2023. It's going to pull up just games from this season. So in the 7 games that it is showing Kareem Hunt has been active in, he's gone over this line in 3 of those 7 games. Now, one thing to keep in mind, I mentioned this prior, but Deshaun Watson, he's done for the year. Shoulder injury, too much to handle. Now we got Dorian Thompson Robinson Robinson is his name. The 3 names throws me off. And the difference between he and Deshaun Watson, well, a lot of differences, but Deshaun Watson does like to take shots downfield. He does like to drop back and, let it rip. Strong arm quarterback. He's got the targets in terms of Amari Cooper to throw to, Njoku. But with this change of the quarterback, Thompson Robinson might be looking to not take as many deep shots downfield, checking down to his running backs. Now, that does involve Kareem Hunt as well as Jerome Ford. So I don't think Kareem Hunt monopolizes the touches in the backfield, but I do think he gets the over on this receiving yard prop. If you had any doubts about his receiving yard prop, you can look to his rushing yard prop, something that he has gone over in 5 straight games. But I got to be honest with you, 6.5 receiving yards is just entirely too low. We're getting minus 120 odds for the over, minus 110 odds for the under. Reception yards are looking good in terms of the projections over on props.cash, sitting at 12.5. I think this is just too low. I mean, this can be accomplished in one catch out the backfield, one swing pass, one pass to the flat, and Kareem Hunt can take this up the sideline for 10, 12 yards. So there's just a lot to like here versus a Pittsburgh defense that is good. However, they are allowing quite a few passing yards per game, 248.4, and that is good for 27th in the NFL. So they're giving up like the fourth most passing yards in the NFL. I am curious though. So what I'm going to do here, those of you listening in podcast form, I'm going to go ahead and just click on what running backs have done versus the Steelers in terms of receiving yards. And I just want to read some of these numbers off to you. Now, some of these running backs did not get over their line, but most of these running backs did go over 6.5 receiving yards. So Aaron Jones had a 19.5 receiving yards line. He finishes with 19. A.J. Dillon had a 6.5 receiving yard line, finishes with 11. Travis Etienne had a 16.5 receiving yard line. He finishes with 70. You have guys like Darrell Henderson finishing with 5 receiving yards. Justice Hill finishing with 13 receiving yards. Dameon Pierce, 27 receiving yards. Singletary, 11 receiving yards. Josh Jacobs, 18 receiving yards. And Christian McCaffrey, 17 receiving yards. So Pittsburgh is doing a good job of not allowing backs to rack up 100+ yards on the ground. But we don't need that from Kareem Hunt. We need him to get us 7 receiving yards, even with the quarterback change, even with the downgrade at the position. I like the over on this. So that is what we're going to roll with for week 11 to round it out. Taking the over, 6.5 receiving yards for Kareem Hunt. And ladies and gentlemen, that is going to close out today's video. We went over 2 plays that I like for week 11 in the NFL. Thank you so much for stopping by the channel, checking this video out, or listening to this podcast. Going to be adding my content or uploading it into podcast format. So just trying to take advantage of all the good things that YouTube is offering right now. Listen, if you made it this far, if you lasted this long, consider subscribing to the channel. Definitely click that like button. 65% of you will not like this video or leave a comment. At least that is what these statistics are showing me. So let's prove them wrong. Go ahead and drop a like, drop a comment. Let me know what you like on the board for week 11 in the NFL. Think about sharing. You know what? Not think about it. Go ahead and share this video. Share my channel with somebody you know. And last but not least, no matter what player props you decide to roll with for week 11, I hope that they all respect the damn coin. Best of luck to you all. And until my next NFL player prop video, Chavez is